Welcome to the Dungeon House, where a bunch of regular people with regular jobs gather to play Dungeons and Dragons. We aren't professionals, so if you hear food ASMR or a baby in the back, just understand it's normal. This show is recommended for those 13 and up. The music you'll hear is brought to you by William Heaton and various other artists. We're glad that you're here to share in the fun and laughter, as well as the challenges along the way. So come on into our home, take a seat on the couch, and enjoy the Dungeon House.
So, kamikaze pilot, Faith, back in World War II, the Japanese Navy, in order to sink Allied ships, rather than having
They sacrificed themselves.
exactly, the bombs were a lot better targeted.
They wouldn't install ejector seats into the plane either.
No.
It was.
The plane was the bomb.
The plane was the bomb.
Yeah.
Hey, don't eat that chalk.
Yeah.
Please. Thank you.
That's cool.
Can I have that, please? Dang it.
That sounds really cool.
It's great. Super good. Is it? Do we want to try opening the windows? It might be cooler outside. No, it's not.
It's been hot all day.
Bet. Hey, we're live. Hi, friends. We're waiting on the rest of our group.
Listen to my ASMR.
Do you want to hear my philosophy that I decided that I want to try for D&D?
Everyone needs to be anime girls.
No. That's just the one
pretty
shot.
good one, though.
That
I
would
really
be
do
pretty
like
entertaining. No, I was talking to Tori about this, and I think did I mention it to you, Chase? I don't remember if I did. But it's the idea of like trusting everyone.
And we're not supposed to do that?
Huh?
We're not supposed to do that?
Are we not supposed to trust everyone?
Well, like, not that. I'll just not talk because I'm shooting.
No. Well, let me explain a little bit more, rather than because like trusting everyone is a broad statement, right? But trusting everyone unless they give you unless they give you a reason to actually not trust them, right? Or you have evidence of like, that's kind of sus. Like, I need to learn more. Blah blah blah. Right?
Yeah, Mr. Byron. Opal trusts you more now, but at first it's like,
Well, and the reason why I say that is because like I was thinking about it. I'm like, Hayes, what are you eating? Tori, what is he eating? I can't tell. He put something else in his mouth.
Classic Greg.
Hayes, what is that? Hayes, that is not a graham cracker. He has something that's not a graham cracker.
That is my favorite thing to eat.
What is this? What is this? What is this nasty thing?
there's a bug. There's a bug.
He just ate a carrot that has been here.
That's so nasty.
Anyway, the idea of trusting people, because, and here's where this philosophy kind of comes from. I feel like as D&D players, right? Since we know it's a game, right? We're always thinking about like, oh, everyone has to have. Everyone always has to have some secret motivation, or someone's hiding something because it's a game. And as D&D and as players, we want to win the game or solve the game, right? But I was thinking about it, I was like, you know what? Like, if you were to instead take it as what people say is truth, then it'd be a lot more like realistic, or like in a sense of like, hey, this is like, because it's not like you're going around everyone that you meet. If someone tells you something, you're not instantly like, that's weird, I don't trust you, or I don't believe what you're saying is true. Like, it's just like, okay, you just believe them unless you've learned something later and you're like, that's weird.
Yeah, you trust them until proven otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
I do.
Anyway, so that's my new thought bubble that I'm gonna try and just see how that plays out to an extent.
Perfect.
I could, in the future, play a character who only tells the truth. Like, what you up to, so and so? I'm deep in thought about whether or not to go home and watch a show.
Come in. Where's Brandon?
He just jumped on.
Here.
Hey.
Don't worry, team.
Joy's bringing in the good stuff.
Well,
She always brings the good stuff, but like
what?
it's like the good stuff.
You have room in your
Yeah.
freezer?
Well, maybe.
Good.
Hey, Brandon.
I need to plug in the speaker. If you've been talking, I cannot hear you.
Oh, I haven't really been talking too
He
much.
has been talking. He's talking right now.
I'm so sorry.
He-
I'm panicking. I don't know what to do. I'm scared.
I have a proposal, but I just remembered that we're not
Did
doing
you
that.
propose?
No.
It better be me.
Oh,
Oh, you're talking about the theme. I know what you're talking about.
So I would be happy to just.
Then I remembered what we said.
Well, we can still propose it. It doesn't mean that just because we have that. Can you say something to me, Brandon?
Ah.
Still quiet. Too
Well,
quiet.
Real
The
quiet.
proposal for Provo D&D is, have you been to Jinya, the ramen place? Oh, it is really good. We have to go.
Okay. I like ramen.
It's still not making sound.
Check what it's coming out of.
Am I muted?
And check what your system, your output system is set to.
and focus off the comment verbatim.
We'll keep Hayes away from you then. We'll keep Hayes away from you. Don't worry.
It's because I plugged it in wrong. You know, when you don't do it right, it doesn't work right.
Say something now.
Is it working?
Maybe.
Huzzah.
Yeah, Jinya is delicious. It's the best ramen I've ever had.
Then I'll have to go.
We were saying that maybe after we're done playing. Well, I think Faith and I for sure gonna do it. But
Yeah.
Once we're done, we want to go to Jinya. Get
Okay.
some ramen.
I'm down to go.
It's up though. It is kind of far away.
Thanksgiving point.
It's at Thanksgiving point, so
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
pretty dang far.
So I'm currently making another one for my other cousin who is having a baby girl. Oh my god, it's so pretty!
That's nice. Good job,
That's so
Joy.
fun.
It's stunning, Joy. Oh my gosh, that's nice. Oh, they're gonna love that. That's so cute.
Is that for William Jeffs? Yeah.
They're like due to. She's like due to pop like any day now.
That's why they do it, right?
Babies.
But, you know. No. Body's still regular Jessica.
It's
And then it's like just up. So it's like she looks kind of normal and then she turns to the side. It's like, like it's so
Yep.
cute.
and like we know that she's getting super close because like she's starting to do the same thing that Tori was, which was like literally like the day or two before. You feel great. Like Tori, like I remember Tori was just like, I'm on top of the world. I feel like the best. And Jess was just like, yeah, I feel like really good. And we're like, it's coming. It's coming.
That's how they get you.
That's it.
Hey,
Make you want to have another.
Fun. Fall in love, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Yeah, it is. It's great.
so our house is a little toasty. We're trying to get it to cool down.
Okay, my house. Toasty. Me house. Very good.
Yeah. I'm burning up, I'll be honest, but that's
You
okay.
can take off your shirt.
It's
Yeah.
not about the heat, it's about the sins. Anyways. I thought it was funny.
What? Where did you put my watch?
I'm glad that he got that one.
Tori, do you know where he just threw my watch? You're trying to work on it.
He's
Yeah.
It's called put it
Is he
in
ready
place
for
like a
bed?
book.
I think Waiting.
We can start whenever. We'll just kind of be back here for a minute. But
What?
I was just gonna ask for some anime recommendations.
Oh,
Me and something for a teenage boy though. He has to like the
Solo Leveling.
One Punch Man.
I've already seen One Punch Man.
Demon Slayer.
Did you also do
Yeah, Notebook.
seen
Death Note. Jujutsu Kaisen's good. I still think that Kaguya-sama Love is War is a good choice. I know you may be a teenager.
Yeah.
We started watching Tower Avengers. He wasn't cool with that.
Yes.
So like, I don't know
Mm.
if Love is War would be a good one for him. I don't know.
We just think the intro may get him like, love is a wonderful thing, but they're wrong. So
Yeah, I mean,
maybe.
kind of outside with them.
It's Free Ring, if he likes anything fantasy, Free Ring would be good.
Free.
Free Ring?
Have you seen?
You've not seen Free Ring? What?
You'll love it.
Joy!
It's basically it's D&D.
It's like a D&D-esque kind of me.
It's D&D, but with a campaign.
Yeah.
Free. Rin.
F-R-I-E
And
and
yeah,
something like that.
she's enough.
Okay. Because we were like, what are we gonna watch? Because nothing's coming out that we like to watch. A lot of the animes I watch on my own are not his forte.
You might like Spy X Family if you haven't watched it.
You've already watched Spike, so I do like.
Do you have any recommendations, Brandon?
I don't. I haven't watched anything in so long.
We ended up watching Rise of the Shield Hero.
I didn't.
They're right.
I liked the first season ish, but then hey, so there's a knife there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it seems good, but it was just kind of a we don't know what to watch. Let's see what Crunchyroll has to offer. So there's
Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood.
I've read some because I watched Full Metal Alchemist, the first one.
Yeah.
I watched it. I mean,
You watched the original, not the hyphenated version.
Brotherhood is the one to watch.
okay, but I read somewhere that you need to kind of watch Full Metal Alchemist first. So you can really get the scope of all the characters.
We didn't, and I don't think I missed anything.
Okay, I agree.
No.
Okay, so then we'll watch that.
It's like the whole story, but told in like 100 episodes.
Okay.
It's a nice pop.
This
We still need to finish this.
it's a good one.
Yeah, we're like really close to finishing.
I finished it.
I need to finish it. We just like every time we start watching it, there's another anime that we start watching it, and I'm like, let's watch this one instead.
Oh, then
We watched the first 3 dubbed episodes of My Hero Academia that are on Crunchyroll. And then the next season.
you already said Shangri-La, right?
Oh, yes,
Shringle.
yes, we've seen that. He didn't watch that with me though. He watched that with ours.
He probably would like that.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
Sorry,
he said
yeah,
he's
sorry,
gonna watch it.
It was a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
Arlo and Joe are very into the video games and
Isekai.
yeah.
It's not really an
They're
isekai.
sort
That's
of
kinda.
online, but
Yeah, they've already watched it.
yeah.
Naruto,
Yeah, that was the first one I think Joe watched. He watched that while he was walking on the treadmill.
Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, classic.
I watched a couple of
I've never seen it. But
and it didn't draw me in, but maybe if I watched it with Joe. Oh, Megalobox!
Megalobox, the first season. The first season's really good. Second season, yeah, second season let me down.
I think about it regularly. Like it's like one of those.
It's Megalobox is awesome.
And the soundtrack is so good,
That's
and the
true.
vibe is so good, and the art is so good.
Yeah,
Is it on Crunchyroll?
it is.
Megalobox, Double Bebop.
I feel like even people that don't like anime would like.
Spy X Family. Good. I'm logging into Crunchyroll so I can tell you. Anyway,
Something that we should
Promise
probably do.
Neverland. Sorry, that's another one.
Only for season.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I've been
It's a
told-
mystery. Anyway, yeah.
But again, we started watching Tokyo Revengers, and that didn't really.
Oh, Tokyo Ghoul.
Tokyo Ghoul.
I like that
Did
one.
I see that? Did I? I think I saw the first couple episodes of that. I don't know. I'll write it down. We'll look into it.
Would you like a piece of chicken?
Anyway, let's do this. Is that what you were gonna say, Chase?
Yeah. I'm still like halfway through my sandwich, but
Fruits basket is a good one.
I don't know if that would be a very teenage boy. I started off with Fruits Basket. I'd be like, I don't know if I'm going back to this.
Big turn off.
Zom 100.
Exactly.
It's no. I guess it does have some
There's
graphical choices,
there's
anime choices,
I
Big personalities.
big personality.
Talking about fan service.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
thing.
There's a lot of that. In that.
Okay. Well, then we're not gonna do that one.
Jag, like his thing is that he's naked. That's like
That's true.
that's like his
I've heard Parasite's really good. Okay, sorry. We got focus.
Sorry,
Got
I
focus.
opened a can of worms here.
Like Seven Deadly Sins, but they're also things.
Oh yeah, I watched a lot of Seven Deadly Sins, and I can't recommend it to him because as an adult he can make his choices, but while he lives in my mom's house, I have to.
You don't walk
Yeah.
out.
Facebook, I've watched it, and yeah, it's interesting, but the story's good.
Same with fairy
I
tale.
only watch it for the
I love
story.
fairy tale, but I won't have him watch it because there's so much fan service. Okay, so I know I was a little bit hesitant. One of the first animes we watched together was My Hero Academia. So I was a little bit hesitant to have him watch that one. It's not quite as much fan service as
Well,
other, but there's
You gotta be
enough
careful
that
because then he might become a My Hero Academia fan, and those are a little.
Yo.
Uh-oh.
If I felt confident, I would make myself a froggy cosplay, but I'm not that good yet. Anyways, we can start now. We can
Anywho,
can of worms.
either way, animes are great, depending on the one. Some of them are really, really good. Those are the ones I should watch. Could someone be willing to talk about what we did last time?
We'll talk too much, but I'm not.
Brandon's got it,
Is that okay?
but he's been voluntold.
All right. Last time. Oh, geez. I know we're in the town. You guys almost killed Donnie. But we met with the land baron, not to be confused with our pal baron.
Yeah.
But the land baron, who's like the leader of this area, and we met another vigil party that is kind of in this area, but they come from the tower as opposed to the lighthouse. And I guess like the Tower Vigils specialize more in martial prowess, while the lighthouse is more arcane.
It's funny because
I'm glad you didn't say what I said a couple episodes back. The arcane.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. The arcanal. That's all I remember. I remember we met them and like we kind of hate them a little bit.
yeah, they tried to be superior. They looked down their noses at us, and we gave them a pretty good verbal beatdown.
Yeah, they're a little bit ostentatious. But we were making a plan with them to get rid of these orcs, this orc problem. That's all I know. Someone else can fill in the gaps.
Any other gaps?
Weird conversation.
We got some of the lore of the lighthouse, but that's neither here nor
Yeah.
there.
Talk about the brothers who started it.
Yeah,
And
divided.
Be back and play myself.
give me 1 second. I have like 3 more bites of my sandwich, and then we can really get started.
Let's see. Opal kept talking about badgers.
Yes. The other party is Valencia, Cragborn, and Momouw,
Momouw.
the elf, the giantish person, the really big one. I don't think we discovered his race. And then the frogman. What's their technical class? The race, I mean? The
Frogman?
frog people?
Grung. Classic grung move.
Cool.
Oh.
And then, yes. Oh, yes, and the Baron is a Crimson Cloak captain, or was there a separate Crimson Cloak master there? Okay, two different people. There's a Crimson Cloak master, Jezebel.
Yep.
Cool. And we came up with two plans, right? Lure one of the leaders in, or sneak into one of their. Yes.
Yeah.
Sneaking, lure, or sneak, or yeah.
Sneak in or try to lure one out. So that way you can question.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, with that, I think we're about ready to start. So, to kind of set up the scene, as you all head out with the last small flecks of a sun ray shining in the west, you head out of the moat encircled central Baron Lord house, land Baron house. On the east horizon, you can see small pinpricks of light, stars starting to show up as the overcast sky above starts to slowly break up. The storm seeming to have spent all of its energy getting you muddy and wet and cold. And as the group turns to head towards hopefully a local tavern to be able to dry off and find some semblance of rest until the next phase of your plan starts, you notice the sounds still echoing, less abrupt as they were prior, but maybe small skirmishes. Orcs coming a little too closely, guards defending the walls. Not seeing very many people on the streets, only those messengers sending orders out to the guards trying to help coordinate the defense of this small mining community. Beyond that, you can still see flecked on the sides of this valley those same bonfires of the orcs still burning brightly. With the rain leaving, more and more figures are able to be seen surrounding those fires, almost as if they are tiny little phalanges of the ground coming up amid these bright beams of light. It strikes you how close those fires are to this town. They're really not that far away. You think if you can strain your ears hard enough, you probably could hear their war chants, their revelry in preparation for the siege of this town. As your boots make the typical squish slosh sound from the muddy streets. Heading towards what you were told to be the best and only saloon in town. You head to the Moon Peaked Tavern. Not too far away from the central area. As you finally arrive, you're at the door of this small structure. Again, I don't know if small's the right word, but utilitarian. Not ostentatious, but built for one purpose and one purpose only. To house people, to help comfort those who need it. Pushing open the door, you can see a warm hearth in the corner. You can see where maybe a bard had once set up to play, but no music comes from this tavern tonight. You see a few customers sitting spaced unevenly. The thing that really strikes you, though, is that half the building has been converted into a small surgeon's office. Wounded people laying down, having been cared for, closer to the fire. Seems that you were the only group that has been able to get into the gates before the orcs were able to get them. But maybe you were the ones that fared the best.
I think he would like to kind of read the room and just see if music would help, or a show, because she's got a lute, she's got some juggling ball. Well, I don't know. Did she get a juggling ball?
I think those juggling balls are scattered between 3 separate children.
Okay. She could find something else to juggle, I'm sure. But, like, could this place use a lift of spirit, or is it just too somber for that?
Make an insight check.
Okay.
As you're trying to read the room, seeing if you can tell the hearts of the people.
I got a 1.
From what you can tell, the best way to cure someone's sadness is by making them laugh, making them happy. And you think that, this is what the people need. People who have broken bodies need the best medicine. Humor, music, entertainment, that'll help them.
Okay, so I just want to ask, this is completely above the table. Like,
Yeah.
Does that, you telling me that when I roll a 1, does that automatically mean that's the wrong thing? Or are you just going off what Pinky would think?
I'm going off what Pinky would think.
Okay.
With you did roll a 1
Right.
on your, and this is what I feel like that's very in tune with Pinky's personality.
Right.
So
Just wondering if it was like an automatic, no, this is the wrong thing to do, or if it was kind
not
of like,
with a natural 1. She doesn't know if this is the
well, no,
the
I meant like if you are saying, because I rolled a 1, this is the worst thing to do by telling me that I think it's the best thing to do.
well,
I never tell
that-
you.
I know, well, I mean, I'm gonna do it anyways, but
Yeah.
like, I just,
you can interpret whatever you think from that and extrapolate your role as joy from knowing separately what Pinky knows.
right.
Pinky knows right now these people need entertainment. These people need it.
Okay.
They're basically begging her to do
Right.
something up on that stage.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, okay. Before she starts though, are we like really hungry? Because I don't think Pinky's happy to perform on an empty stomach.
Probably.
Probably.
We've been traveling, and I don't think we've eaten since sometime on the road. So yeah.
Okay.
Probably just, pocket snacks, trail mix, granola bars.
Yeah. Speaking of hunger like this, looking around. Oh, he knows. Looking around. Does it seem like other people are drinking, or does it seem like this raid has like the supplies, the stocks are like low? Like, are they still feeding people? Like, or is it like we're coming in here and we're just like, all right, give us a drink when like there's no drinks to be had?
Right.
From what you can tell, the people that are sitting in here seem to be locals. They seem to be still serving them alcohol.
Okay.
Cool. From what you can tell, though, part of why they made this the field, hospital, is maybe because it provides food and strong drink.
Okay.
Something to help with the pain. Something to help with those who,
We know lots about them.
yeah. So while they probably won't go against it, and you can see the people that are here, it to shorten my answer, yes, you think you can get a drink here,
Okay.
and maybe a hot milk as well.
Great. That's all I wanted.
I think he's gonna go up to the bar. She's gonna ask. Sorry. What is she gonna say? It's a food and I need it quick.
You see the bartender, kind of a middle-aged, portly woman, look down towards you and says, "What would it be? We have soup and some bread, and I think I might still have some cold sliced meat that I can provide."
Soup and bread sounds great.
Is anyone else dining tonight?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm hungry. I could eat.
No worries. That'll be
I'm there. That's half of that order.
so. You want the mini? Okay, sounds good.
I'm assuming that she's gonna give Pinky the mini based on size.
She's just gonna get a bowl, but she asked for the mini bowl. Sorry, we only have one mini bowl. It's like literally just a thimble size bit of. It's so small. Yeah.
Then don't give me that.
It's like the top of an acorn.
Yeah.
Instead of a bread, it's an acorn. Man.
Yeah, exactly. They just wallowed out a nut. This is what you eat your.
Oh, walnut.
That's all. That's the raids have been hitting hard.
Yeah,
man. That's all.
We only have one mini bowl left. Sorry, guys. We're out of stock. We already went through them today.
I'll go get a table. We went with the other group, right? They're with us.
Yeah,
The other three, right?
Three.
yeah.
I'll get a table and sit down. Hopefully they'll sit down with us.
You end up having to push kind of maybe 2-3 tables together. As the bartender goes to fetch some of the food.
She's gonna take out her lute and start tuning it.
Doing, doing, doing,
Finding maybe some juggling things.
As you look around the room, something that you notice that would probably work pretty good is some small bottles, like alcohol bottles. Maybe
There's some grapes somewhere.
some of the grapes. I love that. They're a little squishy. Like you can tell, like someone like didn't really want to finish them because they start getting a little wrinkly. So you think like no one's gonna eat them anyways. You might as well just have them. I mean, someone might eat them if they get hungry enough, but
Okay, but they're not like bad.
yeah, they're not. I mean, they're not like you're going to stick your hand into it and pull it out. It's like goop, but it's when grapes start wilting a little bit.
Right.
Yeah,
It's like picture.
Maybe they'll be better for juggling because they're a little softer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen people juggle and eat apples at the same time.
Oh, that's impressive.
My mom thinking made attempt that if she's got the grapes. I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
So it's obvious to you guys she's gearing up for something. So if you want to try and
Strong drink.
As the lady calls from the back room, acknowledging your request, all of you sit down kind of at the table. Valencia, seeming to be kind of more the leader of this group, will lean forward and say, the leader of her group.
Not too distracted. But yeah.
She'll lean forward and say, so, Any ideas on our walk over here? And what we could try?
I'm in favor of the going out at night.
I think we'd be better off anyways going at night because the longer we wait, the more at risk we put ourselves into. The faster we can learn, faster we can adapt. Anyone else have any other opinions?
Pinky is engrossed in her performance prep.
I got another question though, not an opinion.
Shoot.
How long have you guys been doing your thing?
She kind of motions towards Momouw. And he'll say, I started up about maybe a year back, 2 years back, full time. Cragborn will go next and say, I've been underneath their care for quite some years, but I too started up a few years back, 2 years back. Usually you don't serve full time for over 5 years. After that, you usually go back to help train others and then called out for very specific tasks. And Valencia says, and that makes me the oldest. I've been doing this for 3.5 years now. But it's something that my family's been doing for the past 3 generations. So it's just what we do. And I've known men to go longer, and women, doesn't matter. But after 5 years, that's when your commitment is finished, but that doesn't mean you have to choose not to. I kind of quite like this life. She leans back, getting to travel, see the world, walk many lands. Ain't that right, Cragborn? Have you ever seen these peaks before? Says, well, yes, many times. Well, yes, but have you been to here before? I think we have. Twice now.
And you said that you guys were heading over to Tavern?
We'd heard reports of some sinister business happening in that area. And that was our original plan, to head that direction. But as duty calls, we help the people along the way too. Besides, it's not like what we were doing was so life-threatening that we had to leave. It's more of I think, a major issue. Probably take time anyways to figure out what's going on. And what about you? What brings you up here?
Looking for something for kind of gesture to rent.
Just normal curse stuff, you know.
Normal. I'll be honest, I didn't know curses were all too common.
Well, it seems like in our circle they are. Maybe. But anyways, we're here. We want to talk to someone who has maybe been afflicted or is familiar with this curse, so that we can maybe make some headway. You know.
Are they here in the city?
Remind me, are they? I don't think they are, right?
You know that it's remembering back to what you were told. The last time you got a little bit of information from your sources, from Oh, what's her bucket from the lighthouse? Why am I pulling up a blank on her name?
Elaine.
Elaine. Yep. She said that there was a small elven village close to Coldstone.
Okay.
So unless
that's
they built the village inside Coldstone, i.e., being therefore close, you would assume that it would not be inside, not here technically.
okay. Then yeah, I'll say that there's an elven village near here that we're trying to get to.
Cragborn, have you heard of such a village in this area? Let me check. And he steps out. He kind of stands up and steps outside for a second from the building. He'll look into it for you. Maybe he can give you a little bit of a pointer to know which way to go. I bet the locals would also know, but he has means of having a lot of eyes on things pretty quickly. So,
What does that mean?
eyes. He has a very strange and odd ability to communicate with birds. They seem to like him. They keep a lot of them around. They, from what I can understand and tell, they tell him stuff.
And then she's gonna kind of go like this to Opal and be like, "I do the same magic."
Oh, that's sorry. Opal will expression be like, oh, yeah, that's a good point. Birds.
The birds.
Then she starts formulating some crazy ideas that only like a Bluey episode would get. So it's not realistic. But thinks about it, like, yeah, we could fly everyone out with birds.
And Adelaide's like right there with you.
How
How do you think of these things?
One thing that we need to consider is what our next step is after we interview our soon-to-be guests. One thing that we have to consider is, even though I think having vigils here lends us a lot of power, I think we've all seen there's a lot of orcs out there. And if we aren't able to figure out a way to disband them, then our first goal is to make sure that we can provide the safety for these people.
Well, if we can't find a way to disband them, then we'll have to find a way for them to escape.
A whole town escaping while being surrounded. Do you know of any way for a whole town to go missing? Yeah?
I don't know if Opal would say that because she's still big.
I've heard rumors of a town generations back that they were able to escape through using either sleep magic or alcohol or some strong drink for.
I can remember home.
That could work. But I don't know, this town doesn't really look like ones of really focusing on boozing. They're miners, and miners drink, but what we would need is a dwarven stronghold. That would probably have enough alcohol to distract the orcs. But to ask a dwarf to give up that much beer would almost be asking him to give up his own son, so that might be a little hard to do. And from what I know, even though Mountains are usually full of them. Dwarves are very secretive. They usually don't like to tell their locations for their mines. Just showing up in town and then heading back to their hole. Good people, though. Trust me. Some of my best friends are dwarves.
Does it seem like the orcs want stuff, or are they just in it to just plunder and pillage?
Yeah, that's what I was like. Could we just reason with them?
We could definitely try.
Or reasonable? And make some sort of deal. Maybe they just want to be part of the town.
I will say every time I've reasoned with an orc, it usually comes with a lot of shouting, and you have to show a very clear greater amount of skill and strength. I think it'd be hard pressed to help them understand our quality versus their quantity.
So it sounds like our only option really is to disband them somehow.
Unless we can figure out a way of making it look like we have more strength than them. But judging by the size of this town, I'd say it only holds about 1,000, 2,000 people at max. And so for us to do a full-on assault, never mind a lot of the villagers not being trained, it's a numbers game, and well, orcs have been fighting their entire life. I will say, people fight a lot better when, they're fighting for their families. But when it comes to a difference greater than double their numbers, it's a little hard to have hope.
I think Opal's had some experience in leading large groups of people, but
Yes.
Well, that's a very good benefit.
If not possible, I would prefer that we spare those that are not trained in battle from fighting.
I agree, because those who do not know are just about as good as the dirt that the orcs are going to tread upon to get to us.
Um,
What's your idea?
give us an advantage. I don't know. Remind me, master friend's name.
Cragborn.
Cragborn. Cragborn, can you tell me about the digging methods of some birds in this area?
Cragborn had left the room at this point.
Reading a textbook.
Yeah, you're like over there just studying the menu of this place really hard. It says bread and then soup and then alcohol.
Yeah, in actuality, I'm trying to understand Marx Weber and bureaucracy, but whatever.
No,
And
she's deep in a religious text.
we talked to that
so
I was talking to the next lady, the bee lady. James Remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Valencia.
Valencia. You mentioned that he has, Cragborn has a connection to birds. At what level is that connection of? You mentioned seeing, or is it a sense of armatic, making an army up with birds?
I have seen a lot of birds around him once or twice, so
My intent is not to use them as a weapon, but to maybe help us have an advantage.
what's the advantage that you're proposing?
Maybe we could also do it too. I don't know. While we're sneaking and observing into the orc camp, we could also, this is an awful idea, but we could split up the party and have some party members dig into the dirt to make it more soft and difficult to read.
Well, I do think that's a good idea of throwing up better fortifications. I will say, unless any of you are very skilled with mining, I almost feel like we'd be better off to suggest the idea to the land baron and let him lead the people. These people are miners. They probably know how to dig earth up a whole lot better than I do.
True.
I think us as vigils will be stronger together.
Yes. I was thinking us as vigils would dig up the terrain to make it more muddy. Because I don't want to put these people next to orcs who live these slaughtered their family. I don't think that's an ethical move, nor putting them in the face of death even further.
Well, we have to be ready to put them in the face of danger depending on what happens. We may not be able to have the luxury of saying, stay behind your wall protected. And I don't know if it's our call to be able to say, you stay behind while we deal with this. They maybe have even more reason to defend their homes and their lands. What I do know, though, is that the wall that they have around the city is holding. And the orcs haven't had a way of being able to get over that barrier. And I do commend the Crimson Cloaks for holding out this far. Well-trained guards make a huge difference in situations like this. But I'm worried that if one spot fails, this whole entire place will become flooded. We're like an egg with a very hard outside shell, but a very soft inside middle. And as soon as it's cracked, everything spills out.
Well, then we better get to it.
Okay, well, I just wanted to discuss some of these ideas so that way we have ideas in what to do.
When are we going?
Well, saying that the stars are coming out, and while orcs are known to fight in the darkness, they have better eyesight than the average human in such terrain. That might give us, a better edge on them as they'll be focused more on the city during the night. Or we wait until the sun comes up and we go when they're hopefully resting. But they'll probably be, have guards set out more. And while their eyes are better in the darkness, the best light is the sunlight. They see just as fine as we do. So I think nighttime is what we should go for. Did you hear that?
How's everyone doing on their mana levels?
I fear that I may not be much help if something goes wrong.
I'm doing great.
Pretty good.
Three
Feeling
spell
great.
slots, 3 spell slots.
3 spell slots?
Yeah, I got my third one. Plus, I have my fairy spells. I can cast them.
Oh yeah, that's how you did your
without-
enlarge.
Yeah,
I was like,
spell slot.
how'd you cast enlarge then? That makes sense.
It sounds like maybe we'd be out to play, right?
I'm feeling like I have a good amount of energy. I'm not injured. I just may not be able to help the same way. But gonna like kind of pull out her shield. I've been really wanting to get a little bit closer into the action anyway, so this might work well for me.
I love the enthusiasm. Momouw, do you have any ideas on maybe what we can do to become behind enemy lines. He says, well, our biggest problem is that we're surrounded on all fronts, and all their eyes are pointed towards us. So unless we have a way of cloaking ourselves, it might be a little bit difficult to sneak out.
I'm assuming it's at this point that Piggy is kind of finished eating
Uh-huh.
and just gotten up and is beginning to
Like she's starting to move to the corner. Yeah. Would you be willing to roll a performance check?
Of course. Another one.
Oh, wow, another one.
Okay. For my performance. Okay, that's a 19.
A 19.
Hooray.
So as you start, you may not have read the room very well. Your ability to perform isn't, outweighed by that. As you start performing, a lot of the time, people will look towards you and start scowling. At the beginning, they're like, who is this? And you start off slow, kind of soft, kind of building into it. But as the people recognize your group for who they are, not just another bout of people trying to forget the awful situation they're in, or people coming to visit the wounded, as the people recognize you as vigils, it starts to inspire hope. Even among the wounded, you can see that they glance up first with heads held in pain, maybe headaches or loss of blood, and they look at you and nod appreciatively. You can see some of them bobbing their heads to the tune.
You say that all their eyes are on us, right?
I would assume.
Well, why don't we give them something to focus on? They'll have a look at Pinky.
I was hoping this would happen.
Teamwork.
Well,
The dreams work.
it looks like she is very good at helping people distract them from the situation they're in at the moment. I think that's a great idea.
She could get on one of the walls and
Stand up there and they'll throw spears at her, and
she could dodge them.
she looks pretty nimble. I don't think that's a bad idea, though. Something else that we could consider doing while she is performing our distraction is maybe, there's a lot of dead orcs outside these walls. Shouldn't be that difficult for us to, disguise ourselves, at least from a distance, looking like a band of orcs. There's enough of us here that I think we could quite well enough fool them if we didn't get too close. What's wrong? You don't like their fashion? Yeah, it does have kind of a sloppy, and it's like you've taken someone's old shack and decided to turn it into your clothing. I do agree, it's not very good, but
It would work.
it would work. We could, I think, a disguise for the rest of us. That little lady has wings on her back. I think she can make her way to us fairly easy. As long as she can stay hidden after her distraction, she can give us the gap we need.
You can definitely count on Pinky. She's done this a lot. She's really good at it.
Good.
She likes playing hide and seek.
It's about this moment that Cragborn comes back in. As he sits down, he looks towards you, Ren, and says, I have found that there is a village even higher up, close to the peak of this mountain. Said to be quite remote. In the V of the mountain, a small valley, or the only place up here that can grow trees. Different breed, apparently. That's where they make their home. From what I can tell, the community is hidden from the orcs. They don't seem to be in the same dire situation that we are. If you went there, I bet you they would give you asylum and even hide you from these monstrosities. Though I know that we should probably figure out these people's situation first. I think that you would be hard pressed to find a place that would be so welcoming in this treacherous landscape.
Thank you very much for your help.
You're welcome.
You made me think of like if we could get the whole village there for asylum, that'd be nice, but I don't think that's possible.
That would be a lot better than trying to make it down the mountain to Havnok, though. Of anywhere to go, if we do have to escort these people out of here, I'd say anywhere else we would die trying to get them. But that one, we might just very well be close enough to at least save them.
How far out is it?
From what I can understand, it's a few-hour journey up the mountain.
Not too bad.
No. I will say this. One thing that orcs love more than killing is looting. If we could make it possible for them to not discover that we had left, we might just be able to sneak out the group long enough for them to be distracted with the loot that they plunder from inside until the brighter ones realize there's not enough people that they're killing.
I don't want anybody to be killed. That's the thing.
Well, I don't want anyone else to be killed either, but if it comes down to leaving their homes and surviving, I think we can be quite persuasive if need be.
Well, it sounds like we have our backup plan if things go wrong.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a pretty decent plan. We'd only need to distract the orcs for a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to get everyone up there, it'll probably take longer, but
The one hard thing is there's no way of hiding that many people's tracks.
yeah.
While that might be an asylum right now, it may not be the wisest of decisions to lead an army to the people who you're trying to seek assistance from.
What about the birds?
What about the birds? To warn the...
Dissipate the tracks. Thinking about resources, how can we remove the tracks without having to go back and straight to the tracks?
Well,
All the back.
while I do know many birds, it may be difficult to hide the tracks of thousands of people with a few hundred birds.
What if we just got a giant T-Rex and invaded the?
I will say though, one thing that we could do, if need be, these walls I think could hold a few more days. If we wait until the opportune time, you all came in around the same time as us when the maelstrom was upon us. That storm covered up tracks pretty quickly and it limited eyesight, making it difficult for them to find us until they were on top of us. If that's the case, we can wait until then. Hopefully when there's a storm that could cover our travel outside.
That would be a big risk. The storm doesn't come.
That's true. You do look like one who believes in higher powers than yourself. Maybe start praying for bad weather.
Ellie's gonna kind of like, oh, and then like in a huffy way, like, oh, and then start praying for
I mean, but don't we have a warlock for the
Yeah.
patron?
Someone whose sugar daddy is the guy.
Yeah. Someone who could do something about this.
If only we had a way of like, calling bad weather.
Yeah. Well, is that what we want to do? Does that sound like a good plan? We'd still need something to distract the orcs.
Something Valencia kind of will chip into this. Well, hopefully we won't have to use this. We can, after interviewing our here to be soon friend, hopefully we'll be able to figure out what's causing them to gather like this and then take that out. But if not, if the people need a distraction, I'd say there's probably 100 well-trained Crimson Cloaks and us few. If we can figure out a way to funnel them to one side of the village, put all their weight into trying to break one gate, and we can put all our manpower in defending it, we might be able to slip out secretly through the other side. Orcs aren't very bright. And if we find a challenge that they are willing to throw as many men as they can at, they might just do it.
Well, I think it's time we go change.
All right.
Make that change.
With that, as you guys kind of nod to each one of you, plan figured out. Let's meet outside of here in 5 minutes and put our plan into action. As you all kind of stand up to, prepare yourself, whether, mentally, maybe have to go use the restroom, make sure you have your snacks prepared. Valencia will take you by the shoulder, bearing, say, "Thank you for trusting us." I could tell that when we first started that conversation, I don't think many of your friends were quite keen on this, but looking at how that ended, and it looks like we might be able to form a very good partnership for the time being. I appreciate it.
Well, it might not be the brightest, but I know when someone's telling the truth.
She'll nod and she'll ask, "You don't hold yourself similar to the others. The way you prowl, more of I wouldn't necessarily say warrior stance, more of a hunter stance."
Well, I guess you'll see tonight.
I guess I will. She'll leave as her compatriots, start strapping on leather, armor, shields, things like that. You see Momouw, he's particularly starts putting on this very different looking, like he has normal armor, like traveling kind of leathers. He starts strapping these somewhat larger plates to him, kind of almost making him look strange in comparison. There's a large kind of breastplate, oversized. He almost looks like he's putting on a turtle shell. And the armor that fits on top of him, it seems, too loose for something that would be comfortable to wear for the size of person that he is.
Could we have gotten a short rest during that time?
Yeah. We can take a short rest.
Also,
Why would I care?
Also, as far as like, because we're disguising ourselves as orc, could we find something similar to what, as far as we're already wearing, as far as like stat wise?
Most of the stuff that you'll do to disguise yourself as orcs will be cosmetic changes. I would assume that most of the people who are wearing armor will keep that on, but just attaching spikes to things, covering it in the blood of your enemies, stuff like that helps you.
It's already covered in the blood.
Just the classic orc, get up.
Maybe Adelaide will find something she actually likes and add it to her
Repertoire.
Yeah. Like the cloak.
You put on you think that the cloak might kind of match, but that's a little bit more elegant and dark. This is more of like a crass, bold statement for a wardrobe.
Punk rock.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's take a 5-minute break and then we can jump into the plan.
So cool.
I hope someone told Pinky the plan.
We filled you.
We filled her in.
100%.
Of course. Would you be willing to put us in break?
Oh yeah. Sorry.
So
It is so hot.
It is toasty, roasty.
Going
we know you guys
to break.
but
Not good.
We're back. We're back. Okay.
Get on him and stuff.
So fun.
It's super cute.
Okay.
Oh.
Dude, that kid almost just fell.
It's okay. It's good for him.
We just got a little scared.
It's all right.
You see, you almost died. The entities, they saved you.
That's not ice cream. That's yogurt.
Yeah, he doesn't.
You tricked him.
Oh no.
I feel kind of bad. I just was watching him go. I was like, there's not much I can do from here.
It's that slow motion, like,
Oops.
I see you get
Out, but
can't do anything.
there we go. Get on our own. Okay. All right. So as you guys start to break off and head towards the gate, is there a particular direction that you want to go? Just so you know, to the west is kind of one side of the valley, east is the other side of the valley, to the south is back where you came from towards Havnok. But you guys came around and went to, I think, the west gate, I said. If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
It was either the east or the west.
We've met up with all the group now, right?
Yeah.
We're all together.
Yeah, you're heading a specified direction, whichever one you want to.
Have your birds been able to possibly identify any specific bands?
From what I've been able to see, most of these bands come from different tribes, clans of orcs. Most of them are surrounding their own fire. It'd be a group of many. Our best bet depends on what we want to accomplish. If we want to have the best information, it usually comes from the person who has the most people under his command. So that would mean going after one of the larger groups.
Sounds like that's what we're doing. But I need to say, most of our group, we don't see well in the dark.
Well, then don't go too far away from the rest.
All right.
I do not think it's wise for us to carry torches unless we are able to blend in as one of the patrols of orcs. But that will also make it to where eyes will fall upon us if we have a torch.
Adelaide, at some point you helped me see in the dark. Do you think you could do the same for Pinky? He probably needs to be able to
Find you guys once
see
you come.
us. It's not supposed to.
Be done on my.
I think you get those back.
I think it's different.
I think those might be based on short rest.
Oh, where's my phone? We can do a quick check. Pause while we.
I know that they are based on a short rest for a paladin,
I don't think they're.
in which I have the most experience playing.
Twilight Domain.
You probably need to look at the cleric rules. Specifically.
Starting for level, you can see. No, you can just do it. You have a dark.
Short.
It's nothing to do with any of your spells or any of your.
Use my channel.
It's not found divinity.
I can just do that.
It says, as an action, you can magically share the dark vision of this feature with willing creatures you can see within 10 feet, up to a number of creatures equal to your wisdom modifier. Oh, you can do multiple people.
Well, then we'll do.
The shared dark vision lasts for 1 hour. Once you share it, you can't do it again until you take a long rest.
Who wants music?
Any of
Ren.
us.
Opal has
Ren.
her own.
So-
Ren and Baron.
Oh, I'm just.
Well, wait, what's your wisdom modifier? 3?
Donnie can guide me if needed.
No, she can get all 3 of us.
Donnie can guide him. But Donnie will not be needed to be a seeing eye ooze for this evening.
Whoa! That means the four of us, 1, 2, 3, 4, can see up to 300 feet.
Yep.
Now.
Wow. That's awesome.
In dark vision.
For 1 hour.
Yeah, for 1 hour. So we gotta move quick.
Okay, so Piggy is the distraction, and then she's supposed to catch up to y'all. Okay.
Did you guys
She has
reach
dark vision up to 300 feet?
Which
You
way
guys
are we heading?
the wall?
Did we talk about which way we're going? No.
It really
Doesn't
any
matter.
direction you want to go.
East.
East. Perfect.
The
Well, that's
Piggy's against the opposite wall? Is that what Piggy's doing?
east. You can go any direction you want to go, Pinky.
Make a distraction.
We told you the direction that we're going, so you can hopefully catch up with us.
East, also, just so you know, is the side in which the higher of the peaks rises up, which is the side that the elf village is rumored to be at, up in the mountain in that side.
So maybe we don't go that way. Maybe we go the opposite way.
But if we're planning to kill orcs at some point tonight, thinning out the herd on that side might not be a bad choice.
All right, let's go. Let's go east.
All right. Pinky is going to go like not completely opposite, but like north,
Yeah.
west.
Yeah, just like 30 degrees off of the other side.
Yes, just so it's not complete opposite, but like so she has time to get to them once she's doing the distraction. I also think it would be kind of obvious if she did the exact opposite, right?
Yeah.
So doing a little bit off just to kind of not forget.
No, that's great. So, as the group gets ready, prepares their disguises, Pinky, you get ready for your distraction. What is your plan?
Okay. So Pinky's plan. Okay.
No, please. No.
Are we level 6?
Take a bite.
Okay. So I guess the orcs are not right up against the wall, but like how far away are the camp?
Probably
Sorry.
the farthest ones that you see are maybe 1,000 feet away. The closest one may be like maybe around about 300 feet, about kind of the range of the dark vision itself.
All right. Cool. So okay, from their encounter before, they have bow and arrow, right? Did they have magic users?
From the counter before, that seemed mostly just like the
Just
foot soldiers charging the wall.
assuming that the foot soldiers are kind of the ones that are closest. She'd imagine that the spell casters would be a little bit further back.
Sure, yeah.
It's just me. Her. Okay, so what she would do is she would first she'd first get their attention, she'd scream and she'd yell, start, trying to aggravate them, as well as playing tunes that
Vicious mockery.
yes. To get them kind of close, she's gonna try and stay high enough up that arrows are at a disadvantage for range. Is that too high for her to be heard?
No, I think you can do that.
Okay. She's gonna take out her lute. She's gonna play some songs that are not very kind to orcs. If anyone ever gets kind of close to her, she's gonna start spewing some vicious mockery. Right? She'll dip down and say some awful things about them, and then come back up. She's going to be casting minor illusions of just bright things to just get as much attention as possible. She will probably swoop down and do a color spray just to get them all looking pink.
Nice.
Just more, fodder.
Berating these orcs to death.
Mix them with some songs and some tricks and some, just trying to be. as obnoxious as possible.
Yeah.
And as loud as possible.
So as you start that, I'd like you to again make a performance check.
Okay, I'm just gonna take off a spell slot for the color spray.
Yeah. Since you used the spell slot to assist with what you're doing, roll with advantage.
Okay. All right. Good rolls. Good rolls. Good rolls.
Bless.
She's already on the opposite side
Yeah.
of this.
Okay, you said performance?
Oh, guide.
Said performance?
Yes.
That's a 23.
23. Okay. So over the next half hour or so, you start laying into these orcs. Most of them having focused on trying to break the guards, though not rushing the gates as they had done
Oh,
prior.
I meant to say she'd be out in front of the gates just a little
Yeah,
bit.
no, you're good.
Okay.
I figured that you're almost flying above them.
Yes. Yeah. Just doesn't want to draw them too.
They being harassed doesn't make them any happier. So they start, throwing rocks, shooting arrows, things like that, towards you.
Yes. Make some dexterity check or something. See if I can dodge them.
Make a dexterity check for me as you work to dodge while you're doing this performance.
Okay. It's not a saving throw. It's just a dexterity.
Just dexterity check.
That is a 19.
19. So you seem to be able to keep fairly well out of their range. As of right now, you're not taking any damage, and you thoroughly aggravate them. You see, it seems that talking to them, not cowering before them, making fun of them, kind of enrages them almost more, and some of them, in their anger and spite, start charging out towards you, which are then mowed down by the arrows of the guards up on the walls and stuff like that. Fuming from their anger, a lot of the group starts kind of coalescing in that area. They start calling for more reinforcements. Make an insight check for me. As you see them kind of grouping underneath where you're at.
That's a 7.
7. You seem to be able to pull a good amount of orcs to this area. You are fairly confident that this is at least the largest contingent of them around the perimeter. Maybe this would give your teammates not a clean break. They might have to sneak around the wall, but this hopefully would open up at least a hole in their line.
Right.
For someone to maybe get through during the darkest of the night.
Yep. Maybe I should have just done like a 4-degree, 45, sorry, right angle away from them. And that would have been better. Anyway, too late for that now.
No, it seems like most of the people are pulled in this direction. They seem fairly agitated at your jibes and not appreciating them, none the least, even though you find them quite amusing.
I think he's having the time of her life.
For those on the opposite side of the wall,
Sorry, well, not. Am I going to take like any damage? I
um,
want to give like a, I don't know.
let me do a roll for them.
Okay, because I'm not sure that he would be able to like dodge everything. I mean,
For sure.
my roll was high, but I mean, maybe I should probably that. But
Over the next 30 minutes, I feel like you do a really good job.
okay,
And while at the beginning they focus on you, as time goes on, they stop really trying to attack you and more just kind of watching you gathering around you.
Yeah.
You take in total around 7 points of damage. So a couple glancing blows, but nothing that would knock you out of the air. For those on the opposite side, as you get ready to charge out, what's your plan?
Are we going to sneak, or are we going to try and pass ourselves off as an orc band?
Say we try sneaking, and then if we are spotted, then we are involved. That I think should be our plan B. That's just my opinion. What do you think, Baron?
Well, we put on these disguises. We'll use them.
This would cost me quite a lot of resources, but I may be able to send one or two of us out farther and helping the rest, to sneak the rest of the way.
Okay, so I was kind of 50% here for a moment. There is an orc battle going on outside the gates.
No, they're gathering over on the other side of the town where Pinky is laying a distraction.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I'll still say this. Like, if there is like a moment of like commotion with the orcs, like say like in battle mode, they're not going to attack someone that looks like an orc. Like I feel like the disguise is like pretty good in that sense.
Who
So
led the
this
disguise?
might be a similar situation.
Was someone particularly like focused on doing the disguising?
Adelaide.
Adelaide, you're pretty good with makeup.
Yeah. It was fab.
Would you be willing to do a check for me?
The hottest orcs.
The new trends, you're fashion innovators for them. War paint was so last year. Now it's
We're
more
doing
war paint.
Big lips, everyone.
Big lips. Just got some big lips.
What am I doing just to check? Basic.
That's a good question. What do you feel like this would be a proficiency for? Your makeup, fashion design, setting up the costumes, things like that.
Well, orc probably isn't her thing. So I would say for disguising as something ugly, it wouldn't be the same as, I don't know, maybe.
Oh, because if you know what looks good, you also know what looks bad.
Correct.
Right then.
It's just hard to make yourself do that.
That's written on my sheet. Is there like a...
No, I was just seeing if you had any ideas of your skills right now that you could apply to this. I'm kind of putting it in your court to say, look at your skills and say, this seems like a good fit for this check.
Animal handling. The orcs are so savage.
Because we're animals.
Or persuasion, because we're persuading the
Do
orcs.
any of the other, like Valencia or any of them, have proficiency in something that they would have helped? Or no? Are they too busy on their own?
See, the thing is, she's got 0 on performance, 0 on deception, 0 in sleight of hand, 0 in stealth.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
A +3 in persuasion?
That could work.
Okay.
As you're looking at like what they are wearing and you're trying to make a persuasive imitation of it.
Okay.
It can't be perfect, but you're at least trying to match a style.
Well, this is 18 then.
Okay.
Yeah, we did pretty good.
Okay, sounds
We're
good.
looking pretty surly.
Good deal.
I just realized it's probably good that we decided to go with the things, because 2 of our members are wearing heavy plate, and stealthing is not the so trying to
And then they
pass
find
ourselves
us and we're like, oh.
trying to pass ourselves off would be better.
I don't know.
As you guys, what's your plan on getting out of the wall?
I thought we were already out of the wall.
Did they open up the gate for you?
No, because that would be really loud.
So
How high is the wall?
The wall's around 30 to 40 feet high.
A rope?
dig under it.
You could definitely do a rope. Or you can definitely try to dig under it.
Out, post something where we.
Oh, for sure.
Like a
Yeah.
maybe a ladder up there.
It's easy to get on top of the wall. It's just getting onto the other side.
Okay.
You can definitely do a rope.
Baron is great with falling. I think we send him down first.
Who are you falling for?
Alcohol. Yeah, I imagine that we would have talked to the guards, and if they had a ladder or a rope, lower it down and then pull it back up once they're.
Yeah.
I imagine that we could have pulled something like that off.
Perfect. Valencia says it might be imperative for us to at least get off the wall fairly sneaky. So do your best to hide. Try not to go down when people would be looking this way. Who will go first?
Baron will go first, since Adelaide already called him out.
I need you to make an athletics check and a stealth check.
Athletics check. That's a 5.
5. Roll your stealth check with disadvantage.
Oh no. Jeez, man. That's not good. 6.
6. Okay. As you clamber down the rope, making fairly good amount of noise, you end up falling the last 10 feet, kind of making a soft into the mud at the bottom. You hope that helps with a little bit of the disguise. More mud on the boots always helps.
Yeah.
Who's next? Awesome. Adelaide, make a athletics check and then a stealth check.
Is there stealth with disadvantage with her heavy
Okay. And nat 20 for athletics.
Nat 20. Your
I have +4 to athletics. I did that.
Yeah. Yeah. So with that, your negative to stealth is negated from rolling so high. And with a nat 20, I'll even give you advantage on your stealth check because you succeed and you critted. So
Damage.
You have advantage on your stealth check.
yeah,
Oh.
you usually have disadvantage on stealth checks.
Damage.
I'll poke you. I'm poke you. I'm gonna get you. Poke, 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 poke.
13.
13. Okay. Who's next?
I can go next.
Okay.
What? Remind me what I'm doing.
Make an athletics check and then a stealth check.
All right. Athletics. 11.
11.
And then stealth. 13.
Okay. All right.
I'm pretty good about that.
I need someone to pass with a traceman.
Cragborn will go next. As you see him look down, he'll jump off the side of the wall. As soon as he is right about to land, you see kind of a large flock of birds come up, pick him up, and move him 5 feet up in the air right before he hits the ground, causing him to take no fall damage as he only falls 5 feet instead of the 40.
Interesting.
Opal will go.
The stealth check is
No.
like an athletics check. Plus your athletics, which is 11. Okay, make your stealth check with disadvantage because you're manipulated. Oh, so with a 12. Oh, I think it's -1. 11. Okay, that's true.
At least I rolled a 20 at some point.
Yeah. Valencia will go next. He will climb her down. As she's going down, you see her start moving, and something happens, and her grip slips as she starts plummeting. Let me see if she has anything that she can do.
Can any of us at the bottom do anything?
Maybe if you have something that you feel like would help in this situation.
Throwing our bodies. That's about it.
Quick, everyone in a circle and reach out your arms.
As she falls, as she gets within 30 feet of the ground, you see her dissipate into shadow and then reform laying on the ground not too far away from where you guys are at. She goes, "Oh, I didn't want to have to do that so suddenly."
What'd you do?
I think he's not here.
I used the shadow. Teleported.
How'd you do that? Magic. Is it a gift? You cursed or something?
More of a mindset. It's hard to explain. With that, last but not least, Momouw will do an athletics check. He gets an 11. And he goes down the rope, but he is like because he has that huge armor on, the way oversized.
Do it again.
Don't do that. So with that, you all get down, you look around, and it seems that you succeeded more than you failed. So you are in the clear at this moment.
Great.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
Looking at the different various war camps around you, you see a couple different types not too far away. While all of them are a little bit different, you see most of them have, fairly similar orcs, but those that are seeming to be more in charge have different compositions, different looks. You see, as you kind of approach from the distance, one group that looks like they grow out their, I don't know if they could be considered fingernails anymore. They're almost like claws. They're around this fire. They are.
Yeah.
They hold themselves kind of with more of a lofty atmosphere. Even for orcs, it's kind of a surprising thing to see. Another one that you see is a group of orcs that from here look like they almost look like bulbously fat. Like kind of in a strange manner, uncomfortably sized, wandering around a specific camp. Each one of these forming a different clan. You see one group that seems a little bit more general, like more wise than most, as they seem to be actually performing rudimentary battlefield tactics. As you can see, they've made what looks to be a large map out of the ground with sticks and rocks depicting, their forces and mulling over strategies as you approach. Most of the strategies have to do with running in, breaking something, and getting out. So, but
one might be one of the hardest ones to go for, but we also might get the most information.
of those are the three kind of types that you see.
I haven't done anything.
I kind of think we could take the bulbous ones.
Good choice.
Bulbous ones.
The ones that were plump
Mm-hmm.
in the rump.
It doesn't matter to me too much. If anyone else has any suggestions,
I do agree that if we go for the ones that seem to know a little bit more of tactics, we may be able to glean more from their information. But it seems that they have more foot soldiers than the other two. If we were to be found out while trying to, commandeer one of their leaders, we'd probably have a lot more difficult of a fight on our hands.
So, which one are we going for?
we're trying to figure that out right now.
Yes.
It's the one that looks like the warlord, or the bulbous looking ones, or the more feral looking ones.
You said orcs like to loot.
Yes.
What else do they like to do?
Well,
Do they like to fight? Leave their tribes, stuff like that.
I mean, from what I've seen, challenges of strength and feats of battle usually ending in one person dead is not uncommon in their camps. Are you suggesting one of us going in and challenging?
I think it'd be very, very high risk.
Especially if you couldn't keep your disguise, so to say.
Well, Ren, what are you thinking?
I'm not thinking anything. I think anything's worth a shot.
Say if we're gonna do,
I think we need to go.
well, we gotta wait for Pinky to catch up. But I think if we're gonna do this, let's make this worth it.
Not too long afterwards, that's when, Pinky, you'd be getting there.
Pinky would have, signed off with the orcs that she was entertaining.
Thanks,
The end.
guys. Thanks to my show. It was a pleasure to have you guys. Bye.
Fly out. Nice.
Get behind the walls, put on her black cloak, turn her hat inside out to the black side, right?
Awesome. Fly off as a shadow in the night. The pink shadow. I lean towards going toward the battle strategists, just because I think we'll gain the most information. But I do recognize that we're putting ourselves in more of a risk, and if we don't return, I question how long the people of Coldstone can hold out.
Warlord, it is then. Just be ready. He might be harder to crack under questions.
It's true. What's our plan? Are we just going in fighting, or are we? I think that'd be not very much of a plan.
Do we have time to wait for them to go to sleep?
I don't think these orcs are going to sleep tonight. I think they'll probably stay up the night, raging, preparing. If any time they're going to go sleep, that'll be in the day, early morning, maybe around 3, 4 this evening. We could do it, but it might set us up for, a long day tomorrow. We won't be able to rest as well.
Could cause another commotion. The far side of the camp. Start a fire or something? We haven't.
Maybe, but that may draw more orcs than we want.
He does have a point. If anything, we would hope that these orcs will, mostly move away to where we could try to single out that leader. What we need right now is maybe some chaos strewn into them. Something that helps us blend into the crowd so that way we can maybe grab one or two and then pull them off.
So it sounds like you have an idea.
I don't have an idea right now of how to cause chaos. I just think that it would work.
We could. Does anyone have some meat? Do we have any leftover lion meat?
No.
That sounds gruesome.
I mean,
Who's alive?
not her meat, like the cooking meat, like the beef.
You cook her? No.
Oh,
Beef? We probably need a lot of meat to
To
distract
have
them.
some. How can you do that?
Well, my mage hand could be used to slap somebody. Maybe listen to someone talk and issue a challenge from the shadows in someone else's voice.
It's not a bad idea.
Work. You can imitate anyone's voice, right?
Because I hear it from him.
Can you understand them?
Who's speaking an orc?
They would be. You
can
do
imitate.
you do hear them every once in a while say something in common, but the words that they use are mostly swear words.
Right.
Work.
As it seems that the vocabulary that they use most often from the common language is profanities.
Okay.
To add to their own, you would assume.
It's an idea. Unless anyone else got a better one.
Slap somebody and make it look like someone else is cursing at him. Maybe start a fight.
Might
Multiple
work.
Fights.
Multiple fights would work.
At least something to distract the main body. Okay, I think that's a great idea.
Okay. Pinky is going to look for 2, maybe 3 orcs that seem to have some sort of animosity between them. Maybe they're not like actively angry at each other, but maybe they're avoiding each other. Maybe they're,
As you look among the orcs, you feel like you notice what you're looking for among all the orcs.
Oh.
Like, they just really don't like each other.
okay.
It's probably, maybe it's just the way their faces look. Maybe they have resting orc face. I don't know.
Cool.
But they all seem fairly ready to punch the guy next to them.
So then she will look for a particular circumstance where one orc is standing still and another orc is kind of passing by to where it looks like they might just hit on somebody, just like smack, and then keep walking like a, and then she'll use mage hand to slap the orc standing still and maybe cuss.
How close are we to them?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I would say that you guys are probably sitting on like the edge of their range,
Maybe
60 feet. Not up here. There's no.
It's all just flat ground. So
Yeah, I almost imagine that you guys were kind of like laying on the ground,
yeah.
stealthing.
Okay. That helps. I was just trying to figure out where we're at.
I mean, Pinky can also disguise self and make herself look like
A very tiny one.
no, like she's only 2.5 feet tall. Could she make herself look like a moth or some sort of?
A very,
Very big.
Oh, but I can make myself. I don't know.
You can make yourself a foot taller or a foot shorter. For you, that's a fairly big difference.
Yeah, I'm only 2.5 feet tall. So
But like, have you ever seen a moth that's 1 foot long?
I mean, I don't know. Okay, can she just?
There probably is, but like,
Are there tents set up?
tents?
Yeah.
Oh, she's wearing
Um,
black. She's
Or no, are they all just
Mostly rudimentary. Like if anyone has a tent, it would be the leader.
Yeah.
And you see a couple of rudimentary tents, but most of these orcs seem to be staying out in the weather. Those that are, stronger seem to be closer to the fire.
Can I use disguise self to essentially give myself an outfit change?
Sure.
So if I like fly, since there's no trees, can I just make myself my clothes look like the night sky? So I can be above them, quietly casting spells, I don't know.
I
Is that
think
possible?
that is possible. Basically, the idea is you're turning your clothes coloring into what looks to be
sky camouflage. I know it's not perfect. They can spot me, but it'll give me a little bit more because I don't want to be
Sure.
crawling around on the ground.
Yeah,
Right.
I
I
think
want to be above.
I think you can give yourself a little bit of kind of that haze that you would probably, if someone saw you, would look more like a bird flying through the night. It's still a fairly dark night, so
Right.
I think covering yourself completely, turning yourself into the color of the night sky as possible.
I think
I would like to be.
let's watch for a minute and let you do what you need to do, Pinky, and while you're doing your thing, maybe we can move around and possibly get closer to that tent.
Maybe try to listen in. We might not even have to completely take someone to get some information out of them.
Yeah. I don't know orc, but
Does anyone here do? How long do you need? Oh, that's very fast to learn the language.
I can do it.
Can you give her 10 minutes before we approach?
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Once again, you go into distract mode. What's your plan? The slap?
Yes.
'Kay.
But she'll do that in multiple places.
All right. Let's say that you take around 3 places to do it. I'd like you to do a sleight of hand check as you're using your mage hand to basically cause something to happen.
Yeah.
As well as I would like you to do on top of that, probably I'm trying to decide whether it'd be a performance or a persuasion check for the mimicking.
Right.
I think we'll go with persuasion as you're kind of faking their language and trying to make it sound like you're angry.
Right. Persuasion. Okay, not bad. Okay, so sleight of hand first. 17.
Okay.
Persuasion 18.
All right, nice. For those that are sitting back in the group waiting for the distraction to happen, as Opal, you start your ritual to be able to understand the orcs. You all sit here waiting. You start seeing commotions. Groups of orcs starting to fight each other, pushing, shoving, moving towards more of a brawl like atmosphere. Many of these orcs start looking towards where these are happening and start moving over to, you're not sure whether they're trying to break up the fight or maybe, add oil to the fire. As it continues going, you hear, just as you finish your ritual, Opal, the commander calls to one of the ones that he is standing next to, and he says, Gromgash, go break up the squabbling. They need their strength for tonight.
He actually cares.
And the orc that was listening to him will nod and head towards there, where kind of the commotions have started. The other orc, kind of hearing this, turns to maybe one of his other advisors, and he says, I will go confer with the one who sees in the night. And then we will finalize our strategy then. He turns to head towards the tent that you saw.
Oh, but what'd they say?
They actually have a heart. Because they want the army to stop squabbling. And there's a guy. They said go and report to the one that sees in the night. So if Pinky can get close to the tent and see who that is and what they mean, that would be great.
From what you can tell, Pinky is fairly distracted at the moment, keeping up the fighting. You might lose this opportunity if your group doesn't take it.
You're stealthy, right?
Sure.
Uh,
Who's the second stealthiest? Bird. You. Bird masculine.
Just because I like birds doesn't make me stealthy.
No, you can see through. They report back to you. I saw that. I know that.
They may be able to report me their doings, but the birds don't know Orcish.
True.
I can't speak.
That means I have to go.
I think you're the one. Do we have anyone that can assist her in this?
I can give myself that. Nice. And I can cast Bless for the last thing that I have, which I don't think is a good idea, but I need a hate sword. I have a pencil. It's my brain. What's touching my foot? Backpack with a pencil.
What is touching my foot?
All right, guidance and relates to guidance.
Yeah, so that is a plus 1d4 from guidance, and then bless will give you a plus 1d4. Does bless
get
not give a
D6.
skill check?
That's blessed with a D6.
Bless is not a d6, it's a d4. You can check me on that though.
I could be. I don't know blessed very well. You're probably right.
I have it right here. Eventually.
Whenever a target makes an attack roll saving throw, make an attack roll or saving throw before the spell ends. So it's not for ability checks.
So I can do guidance on myself.
Yeah.
Which I
Okay, that'll add a 1d4 to your roll.
So I'm rolling 2 1d4s. For that guidance to myself too. Can you stack that?
I do not think you can stack guidance, sadly. The
Bless for all situation.
the Cragborn, he'll say, there is something that I can do that may alleviate the most difficult part, which is getting you. He says, grab hold. He offers his hand. And he'll close his, you can see his eyes kind of close in the back, and you see a warping in front of you as the
Dimension door.
No. The position where you want to be at, right behind that, opens up to your view through kind of a shifting, almost kind of like a mirage from heat. He steps through, pulling you through with him, and you find yourself right behind the tent, and a good 80 feet away from where you had been.
Reroll stealth.
Since you were teleported here, he used one of his, abilities. He does not need to. You do not need to make a stealth at this moment. You're technically able to get here hidden.
All right. Eat your breakfast. Don't fight with the kids, right?
That's what he says.
Yeah.
That's what you hear on the inside. No.
But don't let the other kid's butt. That's what it is.
As you listen in, you hear what sounds to be a voice, kind of muffled and distorted, almost as if there's static with it. The what you would assume to be some sort of field captain, the one that you've been watching. You can tell that he's giving some sort of report to the person that he's talking to. He says, from what I can tell, most of the footpads are in position. My men, my company will move in as well. I will call on the nurtured ones of your gruts, as well as the claw of Luthic. They will join me in our fight. Together we will be able to wait outside. As soon as we see the gates fall, we will swarm. Are you and yours prepared? And you hear the static on the other side say, as the Dark One commands it, we will take to the night. Tonight, this petty village will fall. It is also an orc, as you can tell. The man, he says, through to the voice, that almost distant sounding voice, he says, remember, Red Thing, your promise.
Red thing. Red thing.
Your job is twofold. It seems kind of strange how they're acting. As you notice, they almost seem one is they don't maybe outrank each other. It's almost like they're working together.
Interesting.
He says, your job is twofold. You destroy the head of the snake, and you open up its belly for us to eat. The voice distant says, we may start the cut, but the blade of Ilnavel will finish it, weaving it through. As the one who's on, who you can hear, the one that you saw enter the tent says, and so it shall be. Good hunting. With that, the kind of the static sound that you were hearing cuts out, and the you hear the flap on the other side of the tent open up. The man says, to arms. Having seen Pinky, you see as the fights, while they are pretty fierce, as soon as these ones that seem a little bit more in charge step in, using some of more of his muscle, other orcs of his kind of clan, these seemingly warlords, step in. They start barking orders, reasoning with them in their language that you do not understand. The fights break up. Not too long after that, the flap of the tent opens up back, and you see these ones start forming into ranks loosely, not very straight, orderly, but ranks of soldiers. Opal, as you chance a glance around the edge just to see him, you can see the orc that you saw looking to hold on to some sort of pendant at his neck. You didn't see it yet from where you were at, but now that you're closer, you notice that half of his face is that starry blackness that you saw in the Demon Kruvust underneath Havnok. One side lit up, the other side almost sucking in that darkness. You catch your breath. But the thing that catches your breath more that you notice is the dark shapes flying above you just a few seconds later. 10, 20, 30 even of these dark figures flying overhead. As you look up with your eyes, and anyone with the 300 feet dark vision can see these large bats carrying riders on top of them. Something that you've never seen from these kinds. Valencia, looking up almost in shock as these flying mounted combatants head what seems to be towards the center of the town.
I think this is a lot more than just a raid.
And with that,
Yeah.
we'll finish up for tonight.
It's only 8:30. No.
I want to say the thing is taken off after those flying things.
Fair enough.
Are you really ending it right here?
Yeah, I am.
That's not. You haven't used your wings, have you? I don't think you ever used your
I
wings.
use my.
Wings are different. Wings are different.
That is a different thing. That is a racial ability.
Well, and she has wings from her
Oh, from her other thing?
other thing. You just have
Um,
those.
Are you sure about that?
I do.
Let's check real quick. While we're still on there.
I think she can use it when she uses her.
No, it's not channel divinity then. Step of the night. Starting at 6th level, you draw on a magical power of the night to raise into the air. As a bonus action, when you are in dim light or darkness, you
Okay.
can magically give yourself a flying speed equal to your walking speed for 1 minute.
Okay.
You can use this bonus action a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So you can fly 3 times for 1 minute.
All right.
I'm so mad that we're ending right now.
I'm sorry.
There's still daylight out, Chase. There's so much
know,
more we
but-
could do.
I need to prepare for a pretty big
Ugh.
combat session next time. That might
Because
have
I
two
feel like
different
we gotta.
groups.
I feel like we gotta run now to town. Like we
We're
gotta.
gonna get in once we get there. I mean, you guys. They could just fly over the wall.
You have a couple people
We
who can
don't.
fly. Oh, I don't think so. Opal and Adelaide and you can fly.
Fair enough.
I mean, a minute. We're only what 300 feet away. Give or take.
Mr. Birdie guy can probably get some birds to help him.
Yeah, I don't know if he can fly from birds. He might be able to slow his fall from birds, but he didn't fly away with them.
Man.
So, anywho, it's getting thick.
Really want. I'm so mad right now. All right, dungeon.
Dungeon
Dungeon.
house.